Hello everyone, welcome to Nanuya channel. And tonight, we're tackling a question that many of you might relate to. Why do we daydream before going to bed? Whether it's imagining winning the lottery, replaying a conversation and saying the perfect thing, or crafting entire worlds in your mind, these pre-sleep daydreams are something almost everyone experiences. But why does it happen? Let's explore this fascinating phenomenon together. And at the end of the video, there will be some explanations of difficult words or phrase to expand your vocabulary. Daydreaming is actually a natural part of how our brains work. Scientists call it mind wandering. It's what happens when your brain shifts from focusing on the outside world to your inner thoughts. This is largely controlled by something called the default mode network, or DMN, a set of interconnected brain regions that activate when your mind isn't focused on a specific task. Think of it as your brain's screensaver mode. It kicks in whenever you're not consciously engaged with something external. At bedtime, your external environment becomes less stimulating. The lights are dim, it's quiet, and you're lying in bed. This gives your brain the perfect opportunity to wander. Your default mode network takes the reins, weaving together memories, thoughts, and imagined scenarios. It's like your mind's way of saying, hey, there's no need to process the outside world right now. Let's take a trip inward. Interestingly, research has shown that daydreaming activates the same areas of the brain as planning and creative problem solving. So, when you're imagining that dream vacation or mentally rehearsing a conversation, your brain is essentially practicing these scenarios, even if they'll never happen in real life. But why does this happen specifically before sleep? Well, think about it. Bedtime is one of the few times in your day when you're not actively doing something or processing external stimuli. It's a mental pause. For many people, this is also the first chance they've had all day to let their thoughts roam freely. It's a moment of stillness in an otherwise busy world. There's also a biological aspect to this. As your body starts to prepare for sleep, levels of certain neurotransmitters like serotonin and melatonin begin to rise. These changes promote relaxation and can make your thoughts feel more fluid and creative. In a way, your brain is naturally primed for a bit of daydreaming as you transition from the hustle of the day to the calm of the night. Pre-sleep daydreaming can also serve as a kind of mental decompression. It helps you process the day's events, explore what-if scenarios, or even rehearse for upcoming situations. It's your brain's way of sorting through unresolved thoughts and emotions, much like a warm-up before actual dreaming begins. For instance, you might replay a tough conversation with a friend, or imagine how you'd handle a big meeting at work. These mental rehearsals can help you feel more prepared and at ease. Believe it or not, these little mental journeys can actually be good for you. Daydreaming fosters creativity, problem-solving, and emotional regulation. For example, if you've been stressing about a work presentation, imagining yourself delivering it perfectly can boost your confidence. It's almost like practicing in a safe, low-pressure environment within your mind. And let's not forget the relaxation factor. Crafting a calming or happy scenario in your mind can help you unwind, making it easier to fall asleep. It's like a bedtime story for grown-ups, one you write yourself. For some, imagining a peaceful beach, a cozy cabin in the woods, or even an elaborate fantasy world can create a sense of comfort and safety that lulls them to sleep. Daydreaming can also stimulate creativity. Many artists, writers, and inventors have attributed their best ideas to moments of mental wandering. Those quiet moments before sleep might be when your brain finally has the space to connect dots and spark inspiration. Of course, like anything, daydreaming before bed can have its downsides. If your thoughts are more stressful than soothing, like worrying about the future or rehashing past mistakes, it can keep you awake. This is called rumination, and it's the opposite of relaxing. Chronic rumination can lead to a vicious cycle of stress and insomnia, leaving you lying awake for hours. If you find yourself stuck in this loop, there are strategies you can try. For example, grounding techniques like focusing on your breathing or practicing mindfulness can help. Guided meditations or progressive muscle relaxation exercises can also shift your focus away from stressful thoughts. Another effective tool is journaling. Keep a notebook by your bed and jot down any persistent worries or ideas. Writing them out can help you feel like you've offloaded them, making it easier to let go and fall asleep. So, why do we daydream before going to bed? It's your brain's way of winding down, processing the day, and maybe even exploring new ideas. It's a natural, often beneficial part of the transition from wakefulness to sleep. But, like any habit of the mind, it's all about balance. If your bedtime daydreams are a source of comfort and creativity, embrace them. Use them as a tool to relax and inspire. And if they're not, there are plenty of techniques to redirect your thoughts in a healthier direction. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the Midnight Mind. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. Sweet dreams, and I'll see you next time on the Midnight Mind. The phrase winding down refers to gradually relaxing or transitioning from an active or busy state to a calmer or more restful one. In the context of this sentence, it describes how the brain uses pre-sleep daydreaming as a way to shift from the stresses and activities of the day to a more relaxed state, preparing for sleep. The term downsides refers to the negative aspects, disadvantages, or potential problems of something. In this context, the script is discussing the negative consequences that daydreaming before bed might have, such as causing stress or insomnia, if the thoughts are more anxious or rumination-based rather than calming or creative. The word soothing means something that brings comfort, calmness, or relief. In this context, soothing refers to thoughts or mental images that are relaxing and help to ease stress, making it easier to fall asleep. Chronic rumination refers to a repetitive and persistent focus on negative thoughts or problems, often without finding a resolution. This can include overthinking past mistakes, worrying excessively about the future, or replaying distressing events in your mind. Chronic rumination is associated with stress, anxiety, depression, and sleep disturbances because it keeps the mind in a heightened state of activity, making it difficult to relax or move forward. For some, imagining a peaceful beach, a cozy cabin in the woods, or even an elaborate fantasy world can create a sense of comfort and safety that lulls them to sleep. Daydreaming can also stimulate creativity. Many artists, writers, and inventors have attributed their best ideas to moments of mental wandering. Those quiet moments before sleep might be when your brain finally has the space to connect dots and spark inspiration.